Welcome to Yankees League the One YouTube channel. If this is your first time on my YouTube channel, please subscribe to my YouTube channel by clicking on the red subscribe button down below and turn on the bell icon. Tell me what you think about this video in the comment section.
The starting point is this. Normally, when there is a violation of the Constitution, you can't take the president to jail for that. But the only remedy that is there is a possible impeachment. But impeachment is dependent upon the numbers that you have in the National Assembly. And I heard a day or so ago people talking about the fact that they're going to push a motion for the impeachment. I mean, that is not something that is possible because you need 2/3 majority to even start the process, which whoever the opposition combined, even if you put the independents, they don't have that kind of those numbers, and it's very unlikely that the president's members of parliament belonging to the president's party would even support that. So it's basically something that is a non-starter. But there is another penalty, which is what I believe should be the case. When you violate the Constitution, which is what I've argued, and there is an election coming like next year, in my view, you have broken people's trust. Therefore, you don't deserve to be re-elected. That's what it means. That's the penalty you get. And for example, I'll tell you, I voted for the president in the last election. And come 2026, he's not getting my vote. I'm not voting for him because of what has transpired. He's breached that trust. And for the member of parliament, I'm not also voting for the member of parliament that I voted for in 2021. Because he too has breached the trust in the sense that he did not distance himself from Bill 10. So those are the penalties that we have as a people. You may not impeach because that is the job of the National Assembly, but we have the vote. Okay, and that is why in the speech which I read, I was saying that let the election be some kind of a tribunal on Bill 7, and that is one situation that you could. That is one option that is open, and I think for me the public trust has been damaged, and for that reason I don't believe that a person or a president that has breached, because remember, a president takes oath to uphold and defend the Constitution. Okay. Now, when you fail to uphold and defend the Constitution, you have violated that trust. And once you violate that trust, you have forfeited the right to ask me for my vote. That is one way. That is what I can say in relation to the consequences for breaches of the Constitution. I do hope people will be able to hear me correctly. The point is this: we do not need any form of a constitutional exercise, be it an amendment or be it a new constitution. We don't need that exercise to be undertaken because we have a good constitution. What we need to do is to allow people to study it and take every effort necessary to understand what it says. Now, the reason why I'm saying we don't need this exercise, this judgment is proof of that. Okay? Because in arriving, I mean, there are two judgments. There is one for the minority, there's a minority judgment, and there is a majority judgment. Now, I applaud the majority judgment because in relation to Bill 10, they limited themselves exclusively to the interpretation of Article 79. But obviously, like everybody else, we learn. So the Constitutional Court has now come up with a far better interpretation. They didn't just look at the period, because Article 79, they have clearly stated that Article 79 kicks in after consultation. Now, the minority judges are saying, no, whatever happens before presentation of the bill is inconsequential. What is important is the process of consultation, according to the majority judgment, starts once the bill is gazetted within the 30-day period. Mm-hmm. Now, the majority judges are saying, no, it doesn't. You actually start long before. Before you even come up with the bill, you must consult the people. You must consult. Now, there are some very, very interesting pronouncements, if I can just refer to them. What the Constitutional Court is basically saying, it is affirming the ideals that are contained in this Constitution. You do not need to change it, okay? And this is something that I've been singing about for the last 35 years. And what they have affirmed in this judgment, it is outstanding. First of all, for those that haven't read it, just go to paragraph 33, okay? Where they are saying the people are the owners of the decision to do away with a particular provision and to replace it with another provision. So what they are basically saying is that, this is very, very good concept for the people to understand. If I may just deal with it briefly. Mm-hmm. There is always this notion that politicians are our bosses. They are not. They are our servants, including the president. He is a servant of the people. He is not the boss. The people are the bosses. I think it is important for Zambians to understand. Do not fear your president. You can respect him, but you don't fear him. Do not fear your MPs. Do not fear your councillors. Do not fear your judges. They are your servants. They work for you. You don't work for them. And I think this is the outcome of this particular constitution, of this particular judgment. They emphasize the fact that ultimately the owners of the power of this country is the people. Now, that's very important to understand. Okay, this particular concept has been lost to people, whereby we begin to worship the president, we begin to worship ministers, and so forth. No, we're not supposed to do that. These are our servants. We are the bosses. And this is what this particular judgment affirms. Now, one of the provisions, that is why this particular constitution is so good, is that it reminds Parliament, it reminds the president to say that power which you have has come from the people. You must exercise it for the benefit and for the well-being of the people. Now, that is something that is clearly evident from the judgment. And it is important for us to understand that. Now, no constitution before the 2016 amendment has ever had those safeguards. Previous constitutions simply gave power to the courts, gave power to Parliament, gave powers to the president without any safeguards. Now, this constitution has safeguards to say, court, we are giving you the powers. The powers you exercise are not yours. They are from the people. And you must use them in a manner that promotes accountability. Right. Now, in the case of the legislature, the Constitution says you have the powers, but these powers are not yours. You have to exercise them in a manner that defends, not abrogates the Constitution. And the same to the president. So, to answer the question, we do not need another exercise. We don't. I'm appealing to civil society. I'm appealing to the Law Association of Zambia. We do not need another exercise. This is a wonderful constitution. We need to study it. In fact, our focus should be to make sure that all the other institutions that are created by this constitution are actually created. Right. The case in point is that, first, we must make sure that we pass a law, that law to do with political parties, which PF did not and UPND has not. That is a priority because that law will enable us to control funding of political parties. Okay? None of these guys are interested in passing that particular that particular statute. Secondly, there are other institutions that are supposed to be created that have already been created by the Constitution, but have not been actualized yet. For example, there's supposed to be in the Constitution the power to alienate land, for instance, lies in the Land Commission, not in the Commission of Land. But for some reason, PF did not, and UPND has not actuated the Land Commission. Okay, so we need to look at, don't change it. You know, it's like, I like giving this example. It's like they give you a car, which according to the specification, it needs 10 wheels for it to operate perfectly. You only have 6 wheels. How well do you think this car will drive? Very unlikely. It will not perform very well. Now, for you to determine whether it is a good car or bad car, put all the wheels. If they say 10 wheels, put 10 wheels, then you can take it on the road to make an assessment. Now, right now, because some institutions have not yet been created, we are not in a position to pass a judgment as to whether we need to amend this Constitution or not. These are the same arguments we advanced against Bill 10, and these are the same arguments that we advanced against Bill 7. Now, having said that, even if we wanted to, the question is amending the Constitution a priority? The answer is, it is not. It is not. Okay? Now, can somebody convince anyone that this Constitution will put food on the table? I don't know whether we Zambians really understand how the depth of the economic challenges that we face as a country. This country is in trouble. This country, forget about whatever politicians are telling you. You know, people are celebrating the movement of the kwacha, or it has gained, it is the best performing currency, and all that doesn't mean anything. Other people are celebrating, oh, the reserves have grown from whatever number to 4.5 billion, the highest in 20 years. It doesn't mean anything to an average person. We are in trouble as a country. Okay? First of all, to answer the question from Ambassador Mwamba, what has happened is we are poorer today than we were in 1964. Okay? People are throwing around all these figures and so forth. What do they mean? They mean nothing. Okay? We are poorer. So, at independence, this country was richer than it is today. We are worse off. I mean, in terms of numbers, for example, right? And people are talking about this thing to say, oh, we will double our GDP and so forth. They don't explain how they are going to double the GDP. Let me just give you an example, and this is what I was talking about in my speech. In 60 years, we have grown our GDP 1.5 times. At independence, our GDP was close to $1 billion. Now, if you factor in inflation on the dollar, today, $1 billion in 1964 is equivalent to $10 billion today. Today's, our current GDP for last year, was 2024, was 25 billion. Okay? Now, what is the population? In 60 years, whilst your economy has grown by 1.5 times, your population has grown nearly 7 times. Can somebody tell me what arithmetic are you going to use to address these problems? This is a disaster we are looking at. These are the issues we should be talking about, not amending the Constitution.
Right.
Our GDP, if you take GDP 1964, it was $235 in 1964. Your $235 in 64 is equivalent to $2,350 today. Now, what is our actual GDP today? our actual GDP is 1,300. That is how bad the economy is. Those are the issues that we should be talking about. The population has gone through the roof. You know, it's like you have a home. What happens? Your family is growing, but your income is not increasing. What happens? That's poverty. Okay? That is exactly where we are. The challenge that we face is, how can we grow? The challenge that we face as Zambia is, how do we grow our economy and control the population? Because the population growth that we have is one of the highest in the world. Our population is growing at 3.5% per annum. It's unsustainable. Whereas our economy is growing at 5 to 6%. That is a recipe for poverty. Now, for me, Bill 7, Bill 10, these are distractions. So that we talk about the Constitution, okay, we forget the real economic issues that we should be talking about.
Oh my goodness.